and people will start to join the stream and such.
The stream.
The stream. The
The stream.
The stream.
The stream.
The stream. For everyone joining, this is the special event. Me and Nox will be ranking every single charm that is in Hollow Knight, but doing it in a way that you kind of haven't seen before. Rather than kind of how useful they are in game, I'm kind of going to be going on, is the charm actually good at what it does? And is it utilized in game? Is it not utilized in game? All that sort of jazz. Just kind of like taking a bit more of an objective type of thing.
And I will also be here.
and Nugs will be here to balance out their opinions.
I don't have opinions on a lot of these, so I'm gonna be the interesting person here. No.
Yeah! But
we should figure out what each of these rankings mean in the context of what we're talking about. Because I think B is just like, yep, that's a charm. I've used it before.
Yeah.
No real complaints. C is just like, it could be better, but like it's still functional.
Yeah, like you'll use it once or twice.
It works for the purposes, but like its purposes are not good.
Yeah, like
or
it's
useful.
so specific to the point where it's not really useful.
And then F should be like, you had one job and you messed it up.
Yeah, F is like, you actively make the game so much harder.
And then A, I guess, is just like, yes, this charm does what it does really well.
Yeah,
and
but maybe
S is just like, oh yes, everything is made better by the existence of this charm. It does its job super well, and it's, never be without it.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like my thing. It's like part of like the main build or the speedrunning build, or like it makes the game so much easier. Just like it makes life better, or it makes everything easier, or gameplay more enjoyable. I see that the first one here is Baldur Shell. Yeah,
Baldur Shell's in C.
Yeah, I would put Baldur Shell either in a low B, but just because of how useful it is in the 2.0, in the like the Any Radiance and the Any 2.0 fights, as well as other mod bosses. Because at the end of the day, in Baldur's defense, it does make legitimately undodgeable situations in modded fights actually manageable. But then again, you don't have infinite amounts of them. So
okay, B.
Yeah, I'd say
B.
more like a low B, teetering on high C.
So we'll put other things ahead of that.
Yeah, just because I feel like it has uses, but the game just doesn't use it properly. But modded fights do. But it does have a lot of... But the fact it isn't utilized in game has negatives and stuff. But anyway, yeah. Low B tier. Next is Carefree Melody.
Never used it. Don't have opinions.
I like the lore surrounding Carefree Melody. Like, I like that gives it to you.
But we're not ranking this on the lore.
I know. We're not ranking this on lore. Objectively, it does do its job well.
Wait, what does it do specifically? Like, what's the percentage of...
So, basically, the way Carefree Melody works is every time you take a hit, it increases the chance of blocking the next hit by 10%. All the way up to 90%, and then after that, it doesn't really, it can't go any higher. The max is 90%, but you need to take 10 or not like more than 9 hits to be able to actually activate 90%. It does.
Yeah, and sometimes you get the chance that it activates on the next hit anyway, because
exactly. So
like, roll the dice and land on that 10%.
Yeah, exactly. That in that case, it's really good, and it is really good, and like. If you're going for like Any Radiance, or if you're like kind of struggling with some parts of bosses. Personally, for me, I don't see much actual use of it outside of, like I said, like Any Radiance.
I feel like, well, I mean, like we're ranking this on like how good the charm is at its job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Carefree Melody should be a C, if only because like, yeah, it does its job, but, like, you could also just dodge.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, just get good at the game.
Yeah, just get good at the game.
And you don't really... And also, I will give this points, though. I know, like, everyone and their mother says this, but this thing does replace Grimchild. So that's, like, immediately a plus. So I do
It does good at its job of replacing Grimchild.
Exactly.
I think it's a high C. Like, we should put other stuff.
I think high C, like, it does its thing well, but, like, if it wasn't, like, so low, like, 10%, like, maybe if it started at, like 30%.
The function, it does its function well, but that function sucks.
Yeah, it's not good in game, and very, very situational to, like, raiding any radiants, or it's not really good in 2.0 because you can't bring it into the meta at all, except with like overcharming for Radiant 2.0, which is a whole other can of worms. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to Dash Master. No, I've been watching so many of the freaking like that one modded Undertale fight where it's like dying is gay, and then it's like fucking goes insane. I love it. But anyway, we're not talking about Undertale. We're talking about Dash Master.
This charm is gonna kill the Queen of England.
So, Dash Master, I actually think for what it is, it's actually pretty good at its job. It makes your dashes go faster. And I feel that like when it comes to movement around the map, it actually does make it significantly easier to move once you've kind of gotten a hand of like how movement works and all that type of stuff. Not super good in boss fights, since boss fights are not normally made to move at the speed of Dash Master. But I do, and especially don't bring it into White Palace unless you're a speedrunner.
My only opinion on it is, like, based on what other people say about how the down dash is annoying.
Oh, yeah! Oh my god! I totally forgot about the down dash, though. Oh my...
Why did they make that a thing?
I think it's for, again, speedrunning. They were thinking, like, oh, if you down dash faster, it's, like, faster than falling, which is kind of mute because inventory dropping is a thing.
Is it better at its job than Carefree Melody? Because this is, like, two entirely different situations. Like,
okay.
Carefree Melody is just, like, it's good at its job, but its job sucks. Whereas Dash Master is, like, it's good at its job except for that one thing.
I'd put it in high C just because that down dash is so bad in the later patches, in the earlier patches, that it really just does kind of ruin a lot of the charm's utility. Yeah, on 1.5 it's a lot better, Lumos, but
yeah, we were gonna do that on like a different thing where we were gonna rank the bosses based on their design, but no, I am gonna talk about their design. I said earlier when I was talking about Grimchild, I was like, I like the design, but the design has a factor.
Yeah, I like the designs of a lot of these charms, since they're all very intricate and well. There are a few that I think could be better, though. But I like the design of
I don't like the design of Fluke.
I knew you were going to say Flukes. I knew you were going to say it.
I hate it.
But anyway, yeah.
We're not talking about Flukenest. We're talking about... Which one's this?
This is... I believe this is Deep Focus. Right? Or
I always get them confused. We might need like a...
Quick Focus. Which one's this? Okay, this is Quick Focus. The other one's Quick Focus. This is Deep Focus.
Never used it. No opinion out of 10.
It's like good for White Palace. I will admit.
What does it even do? I don't even know.
So what Deep Focus does is it allows you to heal 2 masks at once for the cost of 1 soul charge, but it makes your actual soul charge ridiculously long. And it's like, how many notches is this? Hold on. Deep Focus. I should know all of this. Already. 4. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think if you're going into White Palace, it's good, but it's only good for complex platforming. And if there's, like, bosses in it and stuff, like, for going to, like, Trader Lord through Queen's Garden, this is not good. But I will say that for its job, it does it well, but it's so expensive, I kind of have to put it in D tier.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that we needed to take the amount of charm notches these things take up into account. Anything that takes 4 charm notches and also sucks, automatically D tier.
Because Kunsk is saying just use Quick Focus, why in the world would I dedicate 7 charm notches just to heal faster? Literally, bro, just don't get hit. That's like literally the whole thing. But yeah, so defocus, not the best. I don't, it's like a mid D, maybe low D, but at least it has a job that it does well. It's just such a...
Well, I mean, are we ranking this on the fact on how well it does its job?
Well as how useful it is. We're ranking
yeah, as well as how useful that job is, I guess.
Yeah, and this is so expensive that job is not useful because, like, this is 4 notches. You could put in Soul Eater or Spell Twister. Now, if this was 2, different story. That would be like a B or A tier because then you got something more you're working with. But because it's so expensive,
I feel like it might be it might have gone into a low B tier if it was 3.
Yeah, but it's just too expensive. So it has a job, it does well, but it's not worth it.
But you can't access that job because
it's not even a good job. Just don't get hit. Defender's Crest. This is the smelly one.
Stinky one.
This is the stinky one. This is the one you get from Dung Defender. I do have a soft spot for this charm because it's stinky. But a big negative of this charm is it doesn't affect Radiance at all. Radiance isn't affected by this thing. I didn't know that until recently. I don't think actually any Dream Boss is affected by this. Don't quote me on that. All I know is Radiance is not affected.
What does it do normally?
So normally what it does is it creates a stink bubble or like around the night so that it always does that things that come near you will always do damage to you. Like how much damage?
You mean it'll do damage to them?
Yes, yeah. Defenders.
Oh, so it makes you like the enemies in the game where you touch them, you get hurt.
Yeah. Except it's like when you get close to them,
Why on earth would I want to get close to it?
That is true. Why you don't really want to get close to enemies. The damage output of this thing is garbage. Yeah, it's 1 charm notch, but Grub Song is a way better 1 charm notch than this. I don't really think it performs its job well because of how slow it is. It does have like the really cool tech of like cheesing Enraged Guardian, Crystal Guardian, and Gruz Mother. That's really cool.
But like,
you never need it. Like objectively,
yeah. Well, no, okay. Like most people defeat Gruz Mother before they even see this charm.
That's true. Like that, yeah. Oh, but a side effect of this that chat pointed out is it does make everything cheaper because you stay.
Wait. What?
It makes things cheaper. It makes like the unbreakable charms cheaper. Not the unbreakable, the like getting the like heart and greed and strength cheaper and stuff. And other where'd the stream go? And like other stuff. Also you get more eggs apparently. Which okay.
That's weird.
I don't think it's good. I do think it has more use than deep focus because it's 1 notch at the end of the day. But like it's not a very good use, and the radius is so small that it's not actually really going to do anything. It does have the really cool combos with like Flukenest, but like still not good.
Yeah.
You got any more to say on it? Okay,
the stink bubble is very annoying to look at when I'm actually playing the game. I don't like it.
Okay, moving on to Dream Shield. This like gives me PTSD because I just think of Markoth and I don't like it.
I'm so sad. I wish this charm was better.
I know. I wish this charm was kind of like instead of going around you in a circle, it kind of was like whatever direction you're moving in or the opposite of whatever direction you're moving in. Like whether if you're like falling, maybe it's like blocking from above you, or if you're going up, it's blocking from below you. But it's just a circle, which is like fine, but that makes it really hard to control. Also, it's 3 notches and it can only block 1 thing for like a couple seconds.
I would have designed this charm like with the same mechanic as Carefree Melody, except it also makes the enemy like go backwards a bit.
Okay, so like an actual shield.
Yeah, like an actual shield.
But it
doesn't do that.
Them.
So
yeah, it blocks lasers according to chat. Like that's it. It gives you like iframes and like block stuff, But, like, again, you can't control this properly. Like, if it had, like what?
Its function is to be a shield, and it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't really do it well, and it's really expensive. It just goes in a circle around you, which is really hard to control, especially if you're fighting Radiance. It's just never actually there because of the fact that Radiance's hitbox is always being hit by it. And its damage is abysmal. It doesn't do any damage at all that's actually meaningful.
It blocks lasers. Like, blocking lasers is really cool. I mean, that would be cool if it could stay in one place to block the lasers.
Yeah, if it only stood in one place, but it doesn't, so...
Like, the laser's only going in one place, but the shield is gonna, like, slip out of the laser beam in, like, 2 seconds.
So I actually think that because of that, I think it actually goes below Deep Focus then, just because the idea of the job
design,
is really...
though. Like, look at that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a cool-ass shield. I love it.
Actually, just because I kind of want to put it here. But, okay, these two are basically tied, but I like the design on this one more now that you pointed out. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's our tiebreaker. When it's like tied with something, we're just like, yeah, okay, but the design is cooler.
The design is really cool. So yeah, but if we're actually going on utility, Deep Focus for what its job is better than this. But I mean, I've seen more uses for Dream Shield than Deep Focus. I've seen builds where it's actually incorporated really well. It's just it doesn't do its job well. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to Dream Wielder. Well, is it Dreamgate, Dream Wielder? It's like the one that makes using Dream Nail really fast. I think that for what this is, it's actually really interesting. It adds a lot.
Okay, its job is to make Dream Nail faster, and it does that.
It does it really well. It actually, and it's, first of all, 1 notch bonus. And I myself have played with this. The fact that you can use like Dream Wielder to get soul and then use that soul to do crazy amounts of damage, you can have a really nice spell build with this. It's also really good with like the flower quest, because you can just keep getting soul to kill like enemies with projectiles like far away.
It does its job really well.
Yeah, and
so I think that's like
I think it's like either an A or high B tier personally.
I think does its job really well is A.
Yeah, so I think A. I don't use this frequently, but it has a lot of uses that really make the meta really interesting. It's really good in a lot of like really difficult platforming areas and really difficult bosses that allow you to get an extra like soul and stuff. So I think it actually performs its job really well. And it's 1 notch, so can you really complain? Plus, it's in low percent, and anything that helps you in low percent is good.
Fuck.
Okay, this might be our biggest room of, like, area of contention, Nox. Because I think that with how broken this charm was in the earlier patches, and how kind of broken it is in the current patch, it's pretty good for like how broken it was in its legacy. Its job is to turn your spell into a bunch of flukes that do more damage because they stay on the ground, and it does that job well. So I feel like you're hesitant to say anything good about it.
I hate looking at it. I hate looking at it, and it's like I don't like the flukes. Like even the ones that come out of your charm, it's gross.
So it's like the 2.0 of charms. It's like, yeah, it's powerful, but it's unforsakenly ugly.
I hate looking at it, but like that doesn't factor in to this tier list except for tiebreaker.
So I do think
it's A tier.
I think it's A tier just because of how broken.
Does it do its job better than
Dream Wielder? Well, you got to take into account the modern patches and most of the patches where it was not broken. because of that inconsistency, I don't think it's better than Dream Wielder. I do think that with how broken it... I think it's a patch-by-patch basis. If you go by the old patches, it's by far the best charm. If you go by the newer patches, it's realistically like a C tier. So balancing it out, I do think it becomes a lower A tier, where it is lower than like the mid tier of Dream Wielder. But it's like not the... It's like fine. It's like fine. It's okay. It's good. It's pretty good.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Now, we got Fury of the Fallen.
Yeah, okay, but Fury of the Fallen does its job really well.
Oh, yeah. Like, this charm... Okay, it's very hard to use. I would know. I'm fighting a Hornet for 22 hours. So...
Yeah, okay, Fury of the Fallen, like, just the fact that you have to get down to 1 health for it to activate is kinda...
What I kind of think would have been cool is, instead of it being all the damage is activated when you're at 1 health, is the less health you have, the more damage you do, which then maxes out when you're at 1 health.
That would have been so cool.
That would have been way better than what it is now. That's like an idea I've thought of for a while, but...
Yeah, it like increases your damage exponentially. So, like...
Yeah.
The amount of damage Fury of the Fallen does, as it currently does, would be, like, the base. Like, that's how much it does on the very last health.
Yeah.
And then it only does half of that on 2 health.
Yeah. And
then half of that on 3 health.
Yeah.
And half of that on 4 health. So it's kind of like... I feel like that would be very balanced out by the fact that you try to get more health. Masks.
Yeah, that would really make it a lot easier for players, but for speedrunners and like for people who do crazy modded stuff, that doesn't super apply to them. So I do think that this, for what it is, it does its job.
But what its job is currently, as it exists, it does its job very well.
Yeah, it's just so hard to use that a normal player will never actually objectively use this.
Yeah, but we're not raking back based on what an actual player would use.
True. So I do think that, like, it's a high A tier, but the fact that you don't ever actually use it, but it has the potential to be super broken if you do know how to use it, stops it from being S tier. Because you never actually see it in any metas outside of the meta.
S tier, as a reminder, is it does its job really well.
Yeah.
And you use it frequently.
Yeah. This just does its job well, but you never use it.
Yeah, you don't use Fear of the Fallen. Yeah. Though I will say, I love the design.
This is like one of... honestly, we should just do a whole separate tier list ranking all the designs if we later on.
Okay, after we do this one, because I don't think it's going to take that long to do this one. We haven't gotten nearly as sidetracked as I thought we would.
Trust me, we definitely will with these later charms.
Yeah, okay. So maybe after, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and just rank them based on their design. Which is going to be tough, because a lot of them are designed really well.
Yeah, but there are some stinkers. But anyway, moving on to Gathering Swarm.
Gathering Swarm does its job really well, though. It's just you never use it.
Yeah, why would you ever use it? It had the purpose is really useless.
Purpose is fine. We're ranking these based on how well they do the job they were designed to do, and Gathering Swarm does it really well. Unless you walk into the next room without all the geo going to you.
You'll still get the geo, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, you'll still get it.
Then it does do its job really well. It gives you all the monies.
But to me, its job is so useless. I never actually see anyone use this charm. The only time I saw it used in an interesting way was in that one was in that one task where the guy made a task to dodge a 0 geo with Gathering Swarm.
0 geo, but Gathering Swarm is a quit.
Yeah, that was such a... I love that task so much. But, it does its job well, but, its job just seems to be for people who
actually, no, that's a good point. It does its job well, but its job isn't that great.
Put it in highest D tier, above.
No, okay, but it does... No, because, it does its job well.
But it's a shit job. So what do you think?
So I'd put it in low C below Carefree Melody.
You think low C? Okay, well, I guess low C. I guess it doesn't ultimately matter to me.
Because, like, here's the thing. Its job isn't that great, but, like, it does it so completely well that I think it's not D tier.
That's a good point. And also, chat did bring up that it is good for newer players who kind of... It's not good for Zero Geo Run. Why would you ever equip this in a Zero Geo Run?
For fun!
I understand.
I've been in a 0-0-1 because you're a masochist.
Okay, true. But yeah, I think below Carefree Melody, since its use is only really useful for people who aren't good at the game and just don't know that Geo is worthless later on. Glowing Womb, the weirdest fucking charm.
I don't think it does that job nearly as well as Weaver Song.
No, and also it takes soul actively
from you. No, that's worse. Yeah, no, I hate that.
Yeah, this charm...
Like, its job is to spawn friends that help you attack, but, like, I also need my soul to attack, and also heal. Yeah. You guys are taking away my main source of combat that I've been using this entire time. And also, if they get hit, they disappear, and then it costs more soul.
Exactly! And they have such low damage output.
Yeah, no, D tier.
Yeah, maybe like I'd say the lowest. I'm teetering on putting it in an F tier.
Saving like, F tier for like this. F tier is for this charm. You designed it to do a thing, and it didn't do that.
Like my only thing is, it's like you get friends, but like
I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
I'm teetering because it has very niche uses, like with Trader Lord cheesing. And,
yeah, I used it against Trader Lord.
So, like, I don't like it. There's way better friendship charms. But, like, it's not the...
worst.
It's the worst friendship charm, but I'm really hesitant on putting it in F tier because, like, it doesn't...
You gotta really fuck up to be in F tier.
Yeah, like, oh, believe me, a few of these charms... but yeah, I don't think this is worth. It's definitely very much teetering on F tier. It's like a well distance behind Deep Focus. Okay. I don't think this needs any discussion. I don't think this needs any discussion. This charm is garbage. It does no damage. It has horrible aim. It gets no bitches. It's so bad.
And also, don't bring it to Fog Canyon.
Don't. Oh, it makes the game worse. Yeah. Like. Oh, I take back what I said about Glowing Womb being the worst friendship charm. This is the worst friendship charm. God. Oh, man.
Which is sad. It's the worst friendship charm because that's your son.
It's so sad. But, I mean, it doesn't... Besides Fog Canyon, it's kind of just a charm that takes up space. Like, it's not really... It's not, like, negatively affecting the game, but it's, like... It's horrible.
Also, it only really has use in the Grim Troop DLC.
Yeah, but that's like, but that's not like an objective.
But like, you don't even need to do that
to beat the game. Like, you do that to be hot and cool. You do that.
You do that to be cool and also to see Tumblr sexy man. But like,
exactly. So yeah, F tier. I don't like it. I don't like it. I love the design. I love Grimchild. He's a great
Grimchild had one job and it fucked it up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, F tier.
F is for fucked it up.
And now it's time for Grub Song. So, what Grub Song does?
No, that's not Grub Song. That's that's Grubberfly's Elegy.
Grubberfly's Elegy. Song, I'm dumb as fuck.
It turns your nail into the Master Sword, and it does the.
Oh yeah, it's like when you're at full health at the Master Sword, it like does the whoosh thing. And this is like that.
But I'm mad that it only does that when you're at full health. I feel like what have made this charm better is if it does it until you're below half health.
The fact that it does have a projectile, and it's like not a bad projectile, it does like significant damage. It's like, it has useful, but I have never actually seen anyone use this.
Apparently with Fury of the Fallen, it also does the thing at 1 health.
Really?
That's cool.
Oh, that's actually really cool. So you could, I mean, but like again, the problem is it's
but but we're ranking this on this charm alone.
Yeah, like that's sadly nice, but like I love what this represents though. But at the end of the day, it's like, when will you actually use this? Like, unironically, when will you go into somewhere and think, you know what? Grubberfly.
You know what this needs?
The Grubberfly's Elegy.
Yeah, I feel like it's like in the same boat as Dashmaster. Kind of like the drawback is too strong.
It's not justified like Fury. Like Fury has actual usage with speedrunning, but I've never seen that with Grubberfly Elegy. And the fact that you already have projectile weapons with Shade Soul and Vengeful Spirit just kind of makes this even more useless in my eyes.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of want to put it in a high D tier. Actually, is it?
No, I think it's a C tier because D tier is just like.
Is it?
Because like it's
I've
actually.
seen Dream Wielder used a lot more than this. Like, not Dream Shield used a lot more than this. I'd actually say it probably would go in between the two, like in a mid D tier, just because like I like, and even then it doesn't do a lot of damage. Like
okay. That's sad. I wish this charm was better.
Yeah, I wish again. Okay, Chad is screaming Radiant Markoth. Chad is screaming, and I'm just gonna say, that is too niche. That's way too niche. Just Radiant Markoth.
Based on the base game and maybe like a little more.
Like like again, if it was in a kind of like an anti-Fury of the Fallen where it was like had a max damage and then kind of teetered off. But moving on, the actual good Grub Song. I love this charm. I actually love this charm. First of all, it's the best one-notch charm, like by far.
I think it's S tier personally because I used it a lot.
Oh yeah,
it does its job well, and I used it a lot.
I would actually agree with you there. I'm
a person who only played through the based game. I haven't done any modded bosses or any of the pantheons. So good charm, S tier, love it.
Oh yeah, okay. And even like it's not really used in the highest tier of speedrunning. But for like Pantheon 5, this charm is amazing because like especially for me going into it, it's like you get hit so much, you're gonna want to take soul, like you're gonna want soul to heal, and it's like might as well if I'm gonna get hit, get a benefit out of it. It's really really good. Also really good in the Zote fight, so it has a lot of uses. It's actively in builds. It's not really used in the top end, but for what it does, executes it perfectly.
If you're like a really good player and you just don't get hit, then you probably won't see much use out of this, but I am a really bad player and I get hit a lot, so...
Exactly, this is a really, really good... It is kind of a crutch sometimes, but it's the best crutch. I really like it. It's our first S tier.
I mean, like, its job is to be a crutch, and it does that job so beautifully.
I will say it does kind of look a bit creepy.
It looks a lot better than Flukenest.
Okay, that's true. That is true. But I like it all. Plus, that's Grub.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. We're all in agreement. S tier.
S tier. Everyone, including chat, is in agreement. S tier.
Heavy Blow. Never used it.
Heavy Blow. I know. Okay, I'm about to be really cheesy, but Heavy Blow blows. It sucks. I hate this. Personally, I hate this charm.
It's called Heavy Blow because it heavily blows. Anyway.
So I actually think this charm makes the game worse rather than just being useless. And the reason why is because it knocks enemies away from you. Why would you?
No. I don't want the enemy away from me. I want it in front of me, impaled on my nail.
Exactly. It's like, and then it's like, it does have the thing of like, oh, it'll stagger bosses that can be staggered more often, but that was only added after Team Cherry realized how worthless this charm was.
Yeah. Do keep in mind, like, its job is to knock back the boss.
But it's such a shit!
Unfortunately, that job sucks.
I actually think it's beyond useless. I can't put it in D-tier.
I think F tier might also be reserved for, like, anything that would go in D tier, but also I've never used it in my life.
Yeah, like, I objectively think this has a horrible use. Hot take, I personally think this is worse than Grimchild. That's just me. I think it is. Because at least Grimchild gives you a friend and lets you get damage. This doesn't even work with half the bosses. Like, it doesn't work with, like, Massive Moss Charger. It doesn't work with Radiance. It doesn't work with any of the Dream bosses. It literally only works with bosses like Hornet and, like, Hollow Knight and stuff like that. And those, like, if you're actually useful at the game, it won't matter. Like, no one actually ever goes into a fight thinking, I'm gonna bring in Heavy Blow and things are gonna be different. You can put in so many different things. Like, at least with Grimchild, you have the justification of bringing a friend. You have the justification of it does some damage. Not much. It misses, but at least it does some damage. What's Heavy Blow
doesn't do? Does Heavy Blow even do more damage?
No!
No? Okay. No, it sucks.
Like, I hate this charm. However, the next charm, I know you have a lot of grievances about.
I am so pissed off that this was my reward for dying to Hive Knight so many times over. I feel cheated.
Like, like, in terms of, like, actual usage, objectively, this does its usage the worst. Like, 1 health? Like,
1 health. Its job is to heal you slowly over time, and it only heals 1 health at a time. No.
Like, I think this charm, it's so, and it's 4 notches.
It is 4 notches.
4. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's so, like,
I think it's worse.
It's definitely F tier. Definitely F tier. It does have, I will admit,
I don't think it's as bad as Grimchild? I think
it's only better than Grimchild because it is only good in Path of Pain. That's it. Only Path of Pain.
And White Palace.
It's not good in Path of Pain. Everywhere you go in Path of Pain, there's a soul totem. It's only good in White Palace.
Yeah.
So, like, that use, it makes it above Grimchild, but that's it. Everywhere else, you have better charms. Everywhere.
Yeah, also it heals you super slowly for just 1 health.
I'll be sitting on my ass for hours.
The time it takes for it to heal you, I think would be justified if it did more than 1 health.
It's so annoying, man. I hate it. I really just hate this charm. I never used it. No one uses this. I also think it gets negative points because of the fact it's like the achievement for going through the Hive. Like, you fight the best musical boss in the game. The boss with the best music to get this.
Yeah, honestly, bruh. Hive Knight is so cool. I love it. I also hated fighting it.
Yeah, that's true. I get it. But yeah, it's kind of like, it sucks. But it's not useless. It has the 1 use. And that's it. So
yeah, it has the 1 use, and it doesn't even do that well. So
I believe this next one is Joni's Blessing, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I always get those 3 confused.
I actually think
which one is which.
This is actually. I'm sorry, but
you look it up real quick. Look up
Joni's Blessing.
Joni's Blessing.
Joni's. Okay, it's this one. Okay. I think this charm is ass. What
does Joni's Blessing do again?
Basically, Joni's Blessing, it replaces all of your health with Life Blood, and it costs 4 notches. This is useless, though.
Wait. Does it give you any more health?
It does, but, and if I'm correct, Life Blood Core. Here, let me pull up Life Blood Core. Lifeblood Core, I believe it also heals you while having 9 as Joni's Blessing, see? So, first off, this takes away your ability to heal. Negative. Second, it only heals you, it only gives you as much lifeblood as the Lifeblood Core. And it's more expensive. So why am I paying an extra charm to take away my ability to heal? Even if we're disregarding
that sucks.
That so
sucks. You had 1 job, and that was to, like... I don't even know what this charm accomplishes.
I don't know the purpose. Like, for me, I thought the purpose of it was, it has, like, the one purpose of unlocking the Lifeblood room, you know? But that's it.
You don't even need that to do that. You can just find a whole lot of Lifeblood and use the other 2 Lifeblood charms.
Yeah, like... it's so ass, bro. Like this is like objectively, actually, this might go in the same realm as Heavy Blow because
I think it's worse than Heavy Blow.
Actually, I do think it is because it's
there's another, because unlike Heavy Blow, there's another charm that does the same thing but better.
Yeah, like it does, and that other charm doesn't even do its job well. So it's like, and why would you spend 4 charm notches on this? It's like, it's so ass. It makes the game worse. It sucks. Yeah, I'm happy you agree.
Yeah, this charm is a waste of space.
Yeah, excuse me on my burp. Yeah, this charm is a waste of space. It's ass. Bye bye. I do like the lore though in the design. The design is really good. Has no right to
design is really good.
Has no right to
I really think that after we do all of this, we should rank them based on their design.
Yeah, we definitely will. We definitely will. Okay, moving on to King Soul. Okay,
I don't mind King Soul. It's just, why does it's 5 notches?
So like the reason it's 5 notches is because the game people were like, oh, you're never gonna actually have this for a long time. So we might as well just like never like actually like we might as well just make it so expensive so that you kind of have to make it makes like the birthplace a bit harder because of that, and you get soul in the birthplace when you wouldn't be able to otherwise. But in terms of how useful it is, I did hear it has some uses in like the pantheons because like it gives you soul automatically. If this charm wasn't so expensive, it would actually be pretty decent. It would probably go in the same place.
Its job is to give you soul, and it does that. But unfortunately, it's very expensive.
But like, and
so I feel like it's in a C tier because like it has.
It does
kind of like Dash Master. It does its job really well. It's just there's one major drawback, and that's that it's expensive.
Exactly, it's so expensive. It's the
I
most
think
expensive charm.
I don't think it's worse than Gathering Swarm. I think it's actually just. I think it might be.
I think it is because at least with Gathering Swarm, you can justify it with new players, but like with something, but like actually, I'm kind of debating whether we put Defender's Crest in the right area because I've seen Defender's Crest used a lot more than this. In fact, I've seen Dream Shield kind of used a lot more than this. Yeah,
so but I feel like the amount of usage in the lower tiers is kind of irrelevant. If the
True. That's actually
like that's only relevant to distinguish A from S tier. I think.
So actually, yeah, you're right, and I do think that if it wasn't so expensive, this would have some really good utility. But because it is, I can't. It's like you can. For me, it's like I don't know where to put it in between here.
I think it's better than
Gathering Storm. You think so?
I mean, like, if they're tied, our tiebreaker is design, and it looks way better.
It looks way better. Yeah, it definitely looks better. So yeah, I'd put King Soul there. It's fine. It's nice. It's nice. This one, I believe this is the other Lifeblood one. Yeah,
no,
this
that's Lifeblood.
No, that's just Lifeblood Core. This one is the best Lifeblood.
This one's Joni's Blessing, but good.
There is actually some.
Like, who are you? Lifeblood Core be like, I'm you, but better.
I'm you,
like,
but better.
Lifeblood, the cooler Lifeblood.
I'm you, but better. I actually do think this has some usage. Like, when I was fighting Absolute Radiance, this charm was actually really good with helping me figure out a lot of like the.
You're okay, but here's the thing. Like, the fun thing about this charm is that it's very simple in like distinguishing whether or not it's good at its job. Its job is to give you 2 more health, and it gives you 2 more health.
No,
so,
this
like,
one gives you 4. This one gives you 4 health.
4.
But it's
it
3 notches.
4 more health.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
It's like, but the problem is
how many charm notches does it take?
3.
3.
That's the problem.
3 notches for 4 more health.
I do think it's not as good as Grimchild, but I do think it has more usage than King
You mean
Soul.
Carefree Melody?
Carefree Melody. Fuck. I mean, it has more usage than Grimchild, so I'm not wrong.
Well, I don't know, actually, because if you're ever in a thing where you need more health, but you don't need charm boost, like...
I've seen it used...
I think... I mean, like, here's the thing. I, as a player who does not play modded bosses or the Pantheons, I'd probably use Lifeblood Core more than Carefree Melody.
Okay, that's actually a good point because like I feel like Carefree and Core are kind of in the similar boat here, where it's like they're really good for complex stuff, but like if you're good at complex stuff, you don't really need either Life Blood, Core, or Carefree Melody. So it's kind of like I think it's a bit worse than Carefree Melody because
I think it's better though. So like.
Fuck. See, but the thing is with Carefree Melody though, it has really good usage in Radiant fights, but with Lifeblood Core, it doesn't. It just makes like.
Okay, I'll concede to that.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
The next one, the other Lifeblood. This is useless. Like this, there's no reason to put this. This is the Lifeblood one, but it only gives you 2 Lifeblood. Heart does the job
2
better.
Lifeblood for how many notches?
2. It's literally
that's
heart, but you can't heal. It's definitely F tier.
Here's the thing. Like, 2 notches for 2 Lifeblood. I think it's not F tier, but I think it's low D, spot of D.
But the problem is no one will use this because heart exists. That's kind of my thing where it's like, why would you ever, like, it has, think about it in terms of usage. When would anyone use this? Like,
oh, yeah, right. No, okay, here's the... Yeah, no,
I think it's in the similar
job is done poorly, and also no one would ever use it. I guess, yeah.
It's as simple as Grimchild, where it's like you kind of just there to waste your charms. I don't think it's Grimchild bad because at least it gives you 2 health. At least. Long Nail.
I think Long Nail is okay.
I think it's fine. I think
Long Nail is fine. I think Long Nail is like below Baldur Shell, but in a B tier still. Like, I don't think it's
like a
C
high C or low B. Like, you know, I could concede.
I think it's low B. Like, I don't think it's
I don't like
C-tier.
the design though. I don't like the design personally. I think it's kind of.
I think the design is like fine, but like not that great.
Like, it has usage. Like, I thought of using this in 2.0. It's very useful in fighting Hornet for 22 hours. It's pretty useful. It has some uses. It's not like a great charm, but like it's like fine. It's not like I wouldn't say it. I'd say Baldur's better, like you say, but
yeah,
it's fine. It exists. It's good.
It's functional.
But Mark of Pride is better. Objectively, Mark of Pride is better.
I know. Also, Mark of Pride has a better design.
Mark of Pride is.
I don't think Mark of Pride is A tier, just because like like if I had so many charm spaces, I'd struggle to fit that in. Like, it would be the choice that I had, but I don't have enough charm spaces left for it.
I understand exactly what you mean, because you got like really good charms, but this I feel does integrate with the builds. I kind of think it's like in a similar area. It's like around the area. It's like A tier, obviously, because it does its job really well. It increases the nail. Its job is to give you a longer nail. And it does that really well. I actually found a lot of use for it in Colosseum. Ooh, that's a good point. I think personally it's like the highest of A tier because it has a lot of use, but it doesn't actually get used in good builds a lot. Or do you think it's like Fear the Fallen has more usage than it? Like, what do you think? Okay, because it costs 3 notches, right? Yes, whereas Long Nail costs 2. I feel like it's better than Flukenest, but not as, like, does its function to the best of its ability with minimal cost, like, like Dream Wielder does. Dream Wielder. Like, Dream Wielder, game-changing if you actually know how to use it. But I see your point. I see your point, definitely. It's just a lot of people, like, for me, I use this a lot. But the problem with Mark of Pride but the problem with you using it a lot is that it's like a lot of modded bosses and stuff. Yeah, the thing is it is a crutch. When you want to switch away from it, it is very difficult to actually do that. Well, because I didn't use it in the game when I was playing, except for in Colosseum. I was struggling with like those giant what are those things that look like mosquitoes and fly at you really fast? I was struggling with those because they would always hit me before I could hit them. Vengeflies. Oh, no! The spiky one, the one from Green Path. Yeah. So... Chat, what's that called? Yeah, I don't care. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. I'll like pop a thing up on screen when it hits. But when I used Fury of the... Mark of Pride, I could hit them from a longer distance. And that made it easier. Yeah, so... But yeah, I kind of... So, like, I
I feel like if you don't use it as a crutch and only use it when you need it, it's like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. For what it does it great. It's like really nice, and I like the lore behind it. The mantises give you it when you like beat the mantis lord.
I adore this charm.
Anyway, moving on to what is this? Mark of Pride, I'm pretty sure.
No, the other one is Mark.
No, fuck. Nail Master's Glory. Nail Master's Glory. I think this charm...
Never used it because I never used the nail arts. They're very hard to use on Switch.
I think that this charm is actually kind of a similar situation to Dream Wielder, where it's like it makes the nail arts faster. I think it's a bit better than Dream Wielder, and here's why. It's great for like speed running the Pantheons or getting past really difficult bosses, because the nail arts objectively are actually really good. It's just they're very difficult to use. It's not only good for Markoth, it's good for other things, chat. I think because it does a lot more damage and such, it lets you stall yourself in the air with like Cyclone Slash easier. It unlocks 3 new abilities that are easier to use, whereas Dream Wielder's only 1. And it does damage.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of like, and it makes those nail swings do more damage. So it's like...
Yeah. So its function is to...
make nail arts good. It makes nail arts kind of what they should have been.
And it does that. So, yeah, A tier.
I'd say not Fear of the Fallen, because at the end of the day, like, this is a bit more niche, because you don't use it as much as, like, Speedrun uses Fury, but...
Like, if you, because I feel like people who know how to use nail arts would use it a lot more than normal people.
Yeah.
Like
you have to know how to use nail arts.
Don't know how to use nail arts.
Yeah. You need to know how to use... There's like a fight going on in chat.
That's the one drawback, is you need to know how to use nail arts, but you can just teach yourself that.
Exactly, yeah, you can just teach yourself how to use nail arts and stuff. It's really... It's got its usages. Next up is Quick Focus. Now,
Quick Focus just makes your focus faster, right?
Yeah, I actually think it has usage. Some pretty good usage, too, because...
Yeah, I think it's, like, perfectly serviceable. But, like, you don't
it's a bit
use
expensive.
It that much.
See,
how much?
It's like
much?
3. It's 3 notches.
Oh.
That's the problem. But yeah, I'd say, like... which tier did you say?
I said B tier, but I don't think it's as... I think it's better than Long Nail.
It's either B or C for me, because the thing is with Quick Focus, the reason why I
okay, so if you're saying B or C, let's put it in low B.
Yeah, lowest B. The reason why I say that is...
Because my opinion was that it was better than Long Nail, but your opinion was that it's B or C, so we're middle ground.
Yeah, and the reason why I think that is because you don't want to get hit, obviously. Just don't get hit. But at the end of the day, like, it does offer really interesting tech when it comes to, like, getting heals in place where it was not possible to before. And I think that that's really good in a lot of fights. But the fact that as you get better as the game, you need this less and less, because it can be a bit of a crutch. It's like, it has uses, but it just so happens that as you get better, those uses become less important. So I think it's useful, but you don't need it that much. So yeah, low B. I think Long Nail, it might arguably be better than Long Nail, but for me, this
placement's fine.
Yeah.
Quick Slash is S tier.
Yeah, I don't think we even need to talk. I might straight up just cut this entire part from the video. Shaman Stone, I'd also say this is S tier.
I think it's not as good as Quick Slash because you use your nail more than you use spells.
Yes. But it does.
But it is better than Grub Song.
Again, like, both of these charms, they're used in almost every single good build. They're good for speedrunning, great for bosses. It just so happens I couldn't use it with 2.0 because I needed to use nail arts more. It's very much the Quick Slash of spells. It's literally... It's only here to help you. It's so good. And I love the lore, and it's super well designed. I love it.
Anyway.
Shape of Un!
Shape of Un. Okay, here's my thing about Shape of Un. Like, its job is to make you move around, let you move around while you heal, but you're so used to standing still while healing by the time you get it, you never use it. And
that's a good point.
And when you move around, it's slower than walking.
Yeah.
You can't dodge anyway.
Yeah. I do think that, like, I do think that besides that, though, it's objective use is pretty good. Like if
I don't think its objective use is. I don't think it does its function as well as it should.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because its function is to let you move around while you're healing. Mm-hmm. But you move slower than walking. So a lot of the time you just get hit anyway.
When you put on Sprint Master, it actually goes really fast.
Yeah, but who uses Sprint Master?
That's true. That's true. So
and we're not judging based on charm combos either.
I will say this does have use in the 2.0 fight. I will say that. I'll emphasize more on it in the future, but this does have a lot of use in the 2.0 fight when it comes to getting the standing pixel a lot easier. But that's so niche. Where would you put it?
I see better than Dash Master, maybe, but like...
Yeah, I'd say it's better than Grimchild, not better than Dash Master, though. Because...
That's not Grimchild, that's Carefree Melody.
Fuck! Sorry, Grimchild is just so shit. It keeps, like, it stains the legacy.
Okay, I'm gonna refill my water cup, actually. Okay, Sharp Shadow.
I like Sharp Shadow, personally.
Not gonna lie, I adore Sharp Shadow. I think it's great.
I think it's pretty good. Like,
I actually may have overused it when I got it. Like, I got the ability to do property damage when I dashed, and also dashed through my enemies, giving them damage. That was really cool. I did that a lot. I did that so much. I feel like I accidentally made it a crutch for myself, but like I loved using it.
Exactly. It's kind of like this intangibly.
I think it's A tier.
Okay, A tier.
Yeah, I think it's A tier just because of like how well it does its job. It does what it's supposed to do. Which is increase your dash and make it do damage to enemies when you dash through them.
I completely agree with you when it's like, okay, yeah, this is good, but the problem
this is good at its job. It's not S tier.
The problem is, though, is like, because it's when it increases the dashing length,
that's the only drawback. But like, if you know that, then you can plan for it.
That's true. I can see, I'm hesitant to put it I'm hesitant to put it in A tier. I'm more of in a B, but I'm willing to concede to put it in low.
I think it's A tier. I mean, like, here's the thing.
The thing is, it's not super. The use is not the most useful outside of like newer players.
I just think on how it does its job well, but also it's like so fun.
That's another thing. Yeah,
I think it's A tier just because of like that.
I think that
obviously it's not as good as the other A tier gang. But, like, I do think it deserves to be in the A tier slide, even if it's the last one.
I just think that it's not utilized properly in game because the game isn't designed for it. Like, when I'm fighting, I'm gonna take Absolute Radiance, for example. I used it to beat the first phase of Absolute Radiance. And I think if there were more fights like that, where you, like, the attacks were bigger and a normal dash couldn't get through them, then you suddenly have Sharp Shadow really useful.
A lot of the stuff is... like that, though.
Yeah, I just think it's like the best example of a charm that has the big potential, but it just doesn't do much. It helps with dodging, though, as Chad is saying. So I don't think it's as
my favorite to do when using this charm is like against those heavy husk sentries in the east side of City of Tears. Like, that's my favorite use for them. It's just like I hit it and then I dash through and then I hit it and then I dash through and then I hit it. I love this charm.
The only yeah, it's a pretty good charm. It's pretty fun. I can agree. I'm more in a high B tier, but I can concede to A tier. I'll concede to you on this one. Soul Catcher, though, okay, hot take. I think this charm is garbage, personally.
I think Soul Eater does its job way better.
But Soul Eater is expensive.
Yeah, I think.
See, here's my thing.
I think it would I think C tier, not D tier, if only because you're gonna need it at the beginning of the game.
That's true, but the thing is, objectively, its use is garbage because it objectively has no perceivable benefit. Like, it doesn't actually, you can't feel it when you use it because it doesn't actually do much.
Oh, okay.
Why I'm hesitant to put it here and C, I can concede to C tier.
Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I think it's
D tier for me because it's like I'd say it's
I think it's like right in the middle of D, like between Dream Shield and Grubberfly's Elegy.
Because at least with Dream Shield and what's it called, Defender's Crest. Those have perceivable benefits that can be used. But this is... You're never actually going to feel it. And why would you use it when you have Spell Twister? Like, Spell Twister... Oh, I'm not going to get into Spell Twister. It's wasted notches.
Soul Eater.
Okay, Soul Eater, I really like. Soul Eater, if it wasn't so expensive, it would be useful. I
feel like that, like, it would be really useful if it wasn't so expensive, is, like, the C tier standard.
Yeah, like, I do think I think it's, like, because I do see it, I'd actually say it might be the, like, the same area as Dashmaster, maybe the highest of C tier. The only reason is because it's really good with really, really difficult bosses. I think it's useful, but because it's so expensive, it's like, it has the potential to me, but it doesn't break through to actually being regularly used just because of how expensive it is. Would you agree with me on that, or do you think it goes somewhere else?
I'd say that's fine. I don't think I ever used Soul Eater just because of how expensive it was.
Yeah, so
I would say it's better than Dashmaster because its drawback is not as strong as the down dash.
Yeah. Moving on, I love Spell Twister.
Spell Twister's S tier, I think.
But the question is it above or below Grub Song?
I think it's above Grub Song because when I needed to sacrifice a Charm Notch for something, I would sacrifice Grub Song over Spell Twister.
Exactly. It's like, to me, the argument, see, that's why, like, it's like the best 2-notch charm. That's like an argument everyone uses. It's like, why would you equip any 2-notch charm when you can put Spell Twister? It's like, it's really good. It's used in almost every, like, actually good build. Yeah, the chat
I just keep looking at S tier and I'm like, this is just my charm build.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's good. I love Spell Twister, personally. I loved it when I actually figured out how to use it. I ditched Soul Eater so fast for it. It does so much damage. Anyway, moving on to Spore Shroom.
Okay, I really like Spore Shroom. Its job is to make a cloud of stuff that damages your enemy when you heal, and it does that. And I actually used it a lot when I found it, because, like, I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
Are we really gonna have, like, oh man, so I guess this is the actual, because I think this charm sucks.
Does it not do that much damage? Because it kept, like, if your enemy stays in the cloud...
Spore Shroom. Let's look this up together.
Because I could have sworn it did, like, an okay amount of damage.
26 damage over 41 seconds. So about not even...
No, 4.1.
4.1.
Go back.
No,
4.1.
Yeah, that was, okay.
40.
So, like, it's like, why? But the question is, though, why would you ever use this, though? Here's my thing. I don't see how this is better than Defender's Crest, because at least with Defender's Crest, it's always active. It's always doing damage to people. But with Spore Shroom, it's static. If you're fighting a boss like the Hollow Knight, I would rather
actually used it in the Hollow Knight fight.
You used it in the Hollow Knight fight?
Yes, I did! You were watching me!
Oh, yeah! So, I think this charm's ass.
Okay, here's the thing. You gotta... Okay, look at this from my perspective. Somebody who's not that good at the game and heals a lot. You got a lot of Spore crowd spread over the arena.
That's a good point. But, like,
Okay, maybe... Okay, I concede to somewhere in C tier, even if it's the last spot. But I would not concede to D, or even...
Okay, I definitely think it's better than King Soul.
I think it's definitely better than Gathering Swarm.
Yeah.
If it's at least better than Gathering Swarm, I'll let you put it anywhere.
Yeah, I think it has... because King Soul is really expensive, but its use is really good.
Okay, Breaker. King Soul has the better design.
Okay, yeah, so we'll put it here. In the Hollow Knight, Chad is laughing that, like, Chad is, like, dying. That
okay, shut up! I'm not good at this game.
Okay, moving on to Sprint Master. Like,
okay, I will concede, though, like, just backing up a bit.
Back up.
The reason I in the Hollow Knight fight is because I had actually just found it. and I thought it was the coolest shit.
Actually, there's a really cool thing where if you combine Spore Shroom with Baldur Shell with Shape of Un, it's like mega cool stink. There's like mushrooms on the Baldur and everything. It's like the best thing ever. I'm gonna put up like a picture of what it looks like on screen. It's in post. It's like great. I love it. So that does give me bonus points. I love it.
Nobody uses Sprint Master.
See, but Sprint Master, it does make traversing the map easier. I will admit that. Once I actually used it, it does make moving around easier. But like, that's it.
But like, nobody uses it.
No one uses it. But
why use it when you can just dash?
Why use it when you can crystal dash? Like, that's kind of my thing. It's like,
yeah, why use it when you can just dash in the earlier parts of the game and then crystal dash in the later parts? I think it's definitely worse than Dash Master.
Yeah, because at least Dash Master it has usage in fights. Any rad with this charm build. I think I don't know if it's in D tier because it has a use.
It's not D tier. It does its use well. D tier is for if it does its use bad.
Higher than is it higher than Gathering Swarm though? Maybe.
I think so, because Gathering Swarm stops being relevant after you have enough Geo. Whereas
that's kind of a thing. This never stops being relevant. It'll always kind of be useful. I mean, it does once you unlock all the stags, and especially once you unlock Dreamgate.
No, what I mean is, like, its function never stops being benefiting you when you use it, what I mean.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I can concede to that. I think I can see it being in the lowest of C tier. But moving on.
Okay, what's this?
Stalwart Shell. I think this charm's great, and here's why. It increases the amount of iframes you have after getting hit, and it reduces knockback. I think
that's good.
I think personally, this is the peak example of a charm that is not utilized properly in the game. Because the game, you never actually need this. Because there's never a situation where iframes are actually very needed. But in modded boss fights, holy shit, this charm will save your ass to the end of the world. So I think that if the game was designed differently, this charm would be really good. But because of the fact that the game is designed the way it is, it's not really used. So I'm hesitant to put it. I'm kind of thinking around Flukenest, where it's kind of like, or maybe like maybe more like the bottom of A tier, because
it's definitely above Baldur Shell.
Oh yeah, by a long shot. Like A tier is kind of a good ways away from the rest. I think it has the potential. It's really cheap. It's 2.0. As chat points out. But I just think it's not utilized.
I never used Stalwart Shell, so I'd basically let you put it wherever.
Yeah, I think it's A tier just because of the fact of how useful it is in the situations where it's actually needed. And of the really different, and it could be used in game if you wanted to fight Radiance with it. It's really good with bosses.
It could be used in game if you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing,
so
yeah. If you're fighting like the Pantheon of Nightmares, it's really good. If you're fighting really hard modded boss stuff, it's really good. I just think it's not utilized in game properly. So I'd put in the lowest of A tier. Steady Body. I'd put this.
It's good.
I'd put this in S tier. I'd actually put this like somewhere around. I'm not sure. I use it more often than Spell Twister.
I wouldn't put it above Spell Twister. In my opinion,
put it above Grub Song.
Yeah, above Grub Song is fine.
Yeah, like either of these.
Steady Body. For some reason, I never used it, but I should have.
I think it's great. I do think that like, in terms of like a casual game player, Grub Song
once
is more
I figured out what it actually did, like how good it was at its job, I did use it after that. But that was like way deep into the game when I used it for Coliseum, and then I was like, actually, I'm keeping this in my build.
Exactly. I think that this charm's great. I think in terms of usage, it's better than Grub Song, but I think in terms of like people in game, what they use more often, people use Grub Song more, since Steady Body, a lot of people don't realize how good it is. As well, I kind of sucking Steady Body's dick for a second. I love how like years ago it was like every charm list was like Steady Body D tier, and then as people improved at the game, you'll see this if you go through like charm notch like other charm ranking video, not charm notch rankings, what the fuck, charm ranking videos, like Steady Body just slowly creeping up the tier, and now that it's an S tier, I'm really happy because I love this charm. It makes 2.0 super easy. Because of the fact that it stabilizes you. It's great, really complex. I love it.
Okay.
Thorns of Agony. Okay.
Thorns of Agony. I'm gonna say Thorns of Agony is A, if only because like.
We're gonna have an argument. I think this charm.
Okay, fine. I'd concede to B just as long as it's better than Baldur Shell because I actually.
I'm gonna.
What is your opinion on Thorns of Agony?
Okay.
Like, here's the thing. I used Thorns of Agony all the way up until I couldn't anymore because I needed to use my charm notches for other stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna be a middle. I'm gonna try to be middle ground here. I agree with you in the fact that this charm is really good if you're a new player. When I was a new player, I used this charm all the time. It was great. But now that I'm more decent. This charm, it makes the fight worse because it takes away your iframes. That's the big problem with it.
I didn't know it did that. Like, okay, no. As the more experienced player, I'll concede to that. I don't think it's C tier, though.
I'll concede to a distant B tier.
Yeah, maybe, okay, like, it may be C tier if you really have to, but just, like...
Chat is like.
Just do keep in mind that my opinion is based on a noob. Like, I'm a noob.
Yeah, that's the thing. I need to take into account is like not just how good it is for regular, but how good is this you. And at the end of the day, it does do a lot of damage when you're a new player. When you're a new player,
because I'm a new player, so I never took into account iframes.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know invincibility frames were a thing.
So like, I can see your point, but. I feel like a good balance. Like, that's why a lot of charm rankings kind of completely dismiss Thorns. But when I was a new player, I used it a lot. Because of that. Because at the end of the day...
Context chat, I've only fully played through Hollow Knight once.
Yeah. It's huge in PvP. I think, looking at it objectively, for what it does, it allows you to hit things around you with your iframes when you get hit. And it does a lot of damage when you're a new player. I think that's good. But there's objectively better one-notch charms to use, and the fact that it does take your iframes makes it hard to use.
Just keep in mind, though, we're ranking this based on how well it does its job.
I think it does.
So I think the spot it's in is fine.
Yeah, I think quick focus.
Like it does its job.
Yeah, I think quick focus and long nail do a better job at their jobs because they can be game changing if you know how to use those other ones. But this one, it's good. It's definitely better than Soul Eater.
It does its job. It does its job.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I think this is ass. I'm sorry. This charm.
Which one is that? Unbreakable Greed?
Unbreakable Greed. I think this charm is ass. Why would you ever use this? Okay, this is going to get mathy. To actually recoup the cost of buying this charm in the first place, you would need to kill so many enemies to the point it becomes, like, pointless. Especially if you're going for the Unbreakable version. If you're going for Unbreakable Greed, it will never recoup the cost. Simple put, why would you ever get Unbreakable Greed?
Why would you buy Unbreakable Greed when you could just have the amount of geo it costs?
Exactly. It's objectively, the original Greed wasn't that good in the first place, like the Unbreakable one, but Unbreakable Greed, I'm gonna merge the two together. I think it's F tier. I think it has no use in game. Yeah, it makes you get geo
I think it's
easier.
absolutely useless and is worse than Grimchild, because at least Grimchild has a use even if it
I get
fails.
that.
So
I mean, the only thing I put it in a similar way as Grimchild, because at least you get it so early in the game for a new player. Like, well, no, you get it all the way in.
Is this a tie? Or is it just worse?
I'd put it as worse, actually.
Yeah, because if it was a tie, I would break the tie by saying Grimchild has a much better design.
Yeah. I think it's worse. Moving on, Heart. I think this charm.
Unbreakable Heart is really good.
I think it's great. I'm thinking either to put it in S tier or A tier, because the reason why I'm hesitant to put in S tier is because once you're a good player, you're never actually going to use this. But for most of the game, this charm is really game changing. It is again, I'm gonna try to eliminate the cost of getting the Unbreakable. The problem is
okay. Here's the thing.
I think even the breakable
I
version
think it's
is really
high
good.
A tier, if
Yeah.
only because S tier is for
Always
it does its job really well, and then
Plus it's like
S tier is for that, but also I use it constantly. It's
Yeah.
always in my build.
This is very much a beginner charm, but once you're actually good at the game, you stop getting hit and you start to use it less. I think it's great. I actually still use it in some builds, but like with Absolute Radiance, I used it. Not in the final build, I think, but it's... No, I think I did. No, I did use it in the final build of Absolute Radiance, but it's really good. I love this charm. It's a very, very good charm. Unbreakable Strength.
Never used it, so I don't know.
I think it... Okay. Hot take, I don't think it's better than Quick Slash. I'm sorry, chat. I don't think it's better than Quick Slash. I am not sure if it's... I think it's better than Shaman Stone, though. Chat, don't be mad at me. I think... The reason why I think this is because, yeah, Unbreakable Strength. Great charm. It, like, increases your damage by a massive percentage. But simply put, this charm is only useful in the late game. For the vast majority of the game, you're never actually going to use this charm because the damage increase is not very noticeable. And it's very expensive early game.
But, like, here's the thing. You're not even going to get that charm until the late game, so that doesn't really matter.
True, that's true. Well, no, you get it at Leg Eater, remember. You get it at Leg Eater. The
you get Fragile Strength at Leg Eater.
Mm-hmm. But even then,
but like, here's the thing: for a noob who dies a lot, that's not good.
Yeah, that's why
Unbreakable Strength, you get that much later,
mm-hmm.
because of the Grim Troop DLC.
But again, it's like I'm kind of taking both into account here. I think that this charm, its use is amazing, but that entry barrier of it does so little increase to your early nail damage. It doesn't feel as game-changing as Quick Slash does. I love Strength, but I just can't put it over Quick Slash. I'm sorry, chat. I
wouldn't put it over Quick Slash either, because, like...
Yeah, but I definitely will put it over
I don't
Shaman
know.
Stone.
I just accidentally never used it.
Void Heart.
Ooh, Void Heart.
Void
Heart's S tier. It doesn't cost anything and also gives you access to the end of the
Objectively,
game. So.
Void Heart is like the best charm. Like, objectively.
Like, but here, like, the funny thing is like, yeah, it lets you have the quote-unquote true ending. It costs nothing, but it also doesn't really do anything else, so it's kind of just a nothing charm, almost.
It, like, kind of doesn't exist. It's like,
Schrodinger's charm. Here's the thing, it's like, is it even a charm, or is it just part of your body?
I don't even know, honestly. Like,
I don't even think it's a charm at that point. I just think it's, like, an item that you carry with you.
Like, honestly, like I feel like this charm has more of a lore purpose than a gameplay purpose. Because, like, yeah, it unlocks God Home. Yeah, it unlocks the true ending. But
yeah, its job is to unlock true ending, and it does that job. And also doesn't cost anything, so yeah.
Yeah, and you need it to
and then you just have it for the rest of the end of the game, and then whatever else you want to do after that.
And technically, it's in everybody's builds, because it's forced to be into everyone's builds. And the siblings can't hurt you anymore, so that's good. Plus the lore I love the design. The lore implication's cool. So, like, objectively, it kind of has to be the best charm, but that's because it's kind of more of a game mechanic rather than a charm. So it's weird. Yeah,
it, like, just purely on the fact that no matter what it doesn't cost anything. It's just like...
At the end of the day, it costs nothing, so it's like free stuff is the best stuff. So it's like, what can you do? Moving on, Weaver Song.
I think Weaver Song is like, I don't know where to put Weaver Song, just not D tier, because it's definitely not in the same tier as
it's definitely the best friendship charm. It's definitely the best friendship charm of all of the friendship charms, which is great. I'm definitely thinking it's better than the first half of C tier. I'm not sure if it's better than Carefree Melody, though. I'm thinking of putting it in the mid-C tier because it has some usage, because it doesn't take up soul, from what I understand.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't take up soul. It does a good amount of damage. It's 2 notches. I don't really see why you'd use it over Spell Twister, but I like the friends it brings who doesn't want to have spider friends? Well, I mean,
Me.
you wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't. But like,
Part of why I never used it is I hated looking at them.
yeah, I get that. But I think it's more useful than. I think it's more useful than Joni, than Lifeblood Core, just because it's like at the end of the day, it does a lot more damage and it's a bit more controllable because they're bouncing around everywhere and it costs no soul. So I don't. If you want to have friends, this is the place to get friends. If you're like not able to get them like me, but
Okay.
wrapping up this thing, this whole list, we got Wayward
I
Compass.
have no idea where to put that because, like, I don't have the map memorized. For anyone who doesn't have the map memorized, that is the most useful charm ever.
That's kind of my thing. It's like, yeah, this charm is not used in boss fights. It's not used.
Yeah, you don't need to use the charm in boss fights, but, like, you always have it if you don't have the map memorized.
Is
and
like,
most people don't.
Exactly. My thing
So
is like,
I think it's the lowest S tier.
I would agree with you there.
It's to job. Its job is to, like, know where you are on the map, and it does that exactly, and then you always have it unless you've got the map memorized, and most people don't.
Actually,
so
here's my thing. The game is unplayable without this on your first time. The game is not playable. You cannot play Hollow Knight without using this on your first attempt. So it's like, I feel like if we're going by objectively what it does, I think it's higher S tier. Just because it's like not really used later on
like,
that much, but like it's always nice.
I'm
to
pretty
have.
sure, like, because like you're like almost a veteran at the game, and you still use it.
Yeah, it's like I do have most of the map memorized.
People who have the map memorized is not that big. There's like Fireborn and like maybe 10 other people.
My only complaint is I wish it didn't cost 1 charm. I wish it did cost 0 because it feels more like you should just buy it and you should always have it. It doesn't feel like it should be a charm. It feels like it should.
Yeah, it feels like it should be an item, kind of like the quill.
Exactly.
But like, it's still so useful that like I don't know, like it's not versatile at all, but like you always have it.
Yeah, you always have it. You need it on your first playthrough, or else the game is hell. So that's why I'm debating to put it above Spell Twister, because Spell Twist, I think it's actually a bit lower. I think it's personally
I think that
more
placement
useful.
is fine because you can just survive without the 2 below it, but like in a boss fight, which is a lot of Hollow Knight is boss fights, you don't need it.
So I think it's like, I know people meme on it a lot, but I do think that for what it is really, you're never going to see it in a Pantheon build. But I think that for what it does, I think it's great. And I think it's more useful than Steady Body and Grub Song just because you will need this to play Hollow Knight. And the only negative is it should be an item, not a charm. That's like my only negative of it. But I love it. I love
yeah, okay, so here's the ranking. Take your snapshots. We should take a break.
Yes, we should take a break. Do you still wanna rank everything by design?
Yes, I do want to rank all these charms based on the design because like some of them are really good and some of them are terrible to look at.